I am John Provis. I'm a professor in the Department of Materials Science and Engineering in the Engineering Faculty of the University of Sheffield. I'm also the head of the Engineering Graduate School. Probably the best place to start would be a website like Find a PhD or jobs.ac.uk. There are a lot of the opportunities are advertised directly on these websites. A lot of the departments advertise straight onto the external websites to get the widest possible net and the best selection of top quality international applicants. You need to apply through the online form, and it's on the university website. Quite a clear process to step through. Asks you for all the relevant documents. You'd need transcripts, you need a CV, you need references. Probably the best way to ensure that you've got a good project proposal is to speak with the supervisor first. Make sure that what you're proposing is a project that the supervisor believes is viable, is interesting, and within the capabilities of the research group that you'd like to go into. Supervisors will sometimes take on a project that's outside their core area. If you've got a clearly defined project scope that's given to you, maybe by an employer or by a funding agency. But in general, a PhD student coming into a research group would join the research topics that already exist within that research group. It needs to be something the supervisor can help and guide you with. You'll need to submit in the application a short statement about your project. In engineering, we don't generally ask you to provide a very, very long document or full, complete project plans containing schedules and things like that. If this is a professor or an academic that you've met, that you know in the department, or that you can meet on campus, arrange a meeting with them. Send an email, drop them a note, maybe even a phone call saying, I'd like to speak to you about PhD opportunities. Academics are generally very open and honest with the students about what are the opportunities that are available. The topics, the scope, the facilities, all these things you can discuss. There is a Find a Supervisor tool through the university's website, which is incredibly valuable. A lot of information that you can search through to find people who are interested or might be able to be persuaded to be interested in the area that you want to work in. The application comes to the department, and if you've named the supervisors, I recommend always that you name the supervisors you'd like to work with in your application. The form is sent to them for their consideration. The prospective supervisor, together with the admissions representative for the department, will look over the application, make sure that the applicant is qualified, make sure the project makes sense, make sure the funding is in place if it's a project that requires funding. If you need a letter of offer to apply for an external scholarship, that would also happen at this stage. We run a prestigious University Prize scholarship scheme. There are normally a small handful of these, maybe 7, 10, somewhere in that area. These are for the absolute cream of the crop. We look for the best students in the world to take on these scholarships. And also doctoral academy scholarships. These are university funded positions which are highly competitive, probably around about between 50 and 100 per year across the university, depending on various factors. And there are all sorts of bilateral and multilateral scholarship schemes that are relevant for international students. And the university's website in the scholarships office has a really good listing of all of the opportunities available by country, by funding source, and by the level of study. For local students applying in, there are equally all sorts of scholarships. There are centres for doctoral training. There are assorted government-funded and industry-funded scholarships available to UK and European Union students as well. What I really look for in a PhD applicant, and you can see this from the documentation that's submitted, someone who is absolutely passionate about what they want to do, someone who knows, someone who cares, someone who's focused and organised, well planned, but most importantly, the PhD student coming into the project needs to be able to love what they do. And that can really come through in a strong application. You can see the passion, you can see dedication, and the letters of reference that people write for you also speak very strongly to this. The letters of reference need to be specific, need to be personalised, need to speak about the person that's involved. That's really important because it enables the selection process to identify what's your skill, what's your passion, will you be suited to this project? Will you be suited to a Sheffield PhD? What we really look for in the applications process is someone who we will be proud to say, this is a Sheffield PhD graduate, because we're giving the badge of Sheffield PhD graduate at the end of this program. That's the highest honour we can give as a university to a graduate. We want to be certain that we're getting the right people into this program so that we can be proud of every single one who comes out at the other end.